Hey, everybody. I have got my friend Kelly here from Canada, right, Kelly?
Yep, you know it.
That's awesome. I got the pleasure of meeting Kelly in October when I was in Denver. He's an excellent agent, he is a real estate coach, and he is a YouTube sensation. So today we're going to talk about YouTube and how the formulas and success behind YouTube and how to get business from YouTube. So I'm this is something I'm trying to do and I'm not doing it successfully. So I'm super excited, Kelly. Thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me, Jennifer. I appreciate it. Thanks for reaching out. This is going to be
Um,
fun. Excited.
yeah, I'm super excited. So how long have you been doing YouTube?
Oh man. Well, that's a loaded question. I've been on the platform since 2010.
Okay.
Uh, I was one of the first agents in the Calgary, Alberta market, all the way back in 2010, 2011 to adopt video into my marketing.
You were
We
ahead
all
of
kind of,
the time.
pardon me.
You were ahead of the time. That's
Oh,
awesome.
way ahead. Yeah, way ahead. I mean, there's people now that have absolutely blown me out of the water, but there's just so much to learn with the platform, right? Like back then, it was just spray and pray. You put the content up that you think your clients might want to hear about, and typically it was about 2 to 3 minutes. That was the time frame. You blast it out. We didn't have any of the technology, any of those tools that we have today. There was no captions. There was, the editing. I was using Windows Movie Maker, right,
Wow.
as my editing platform. So yeah, I mean, I started in 2010. Started to kind of get recognized for the content that I was putting out there. I started speaking at conferences, which was really cool. And then I started a team, and we kind of started to fall off of that wagon a little bit in and around probably 2015.
Well, you get
Um,
busy, right? And then you forget.
yeah, well, and we shifted the content as well. Like we moved more towards the property marketing. So again, another way that we were kind of ahead of the curve, we had adopted like the lifestyle type branded videos well before a lot of our competitors had in our marketplace. And that's only because I was attending conferences. I was going to conferences outside of the real estate industry and really starting to adopt a lot of the things that other marketers and creators and whatnot were doing in their business outside of real estate, and started to adopt that into our marketing. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's been an evolution. That the platform has changed drastically since 2006 when it launched. Here we are 18 years later. Keep in mind, YouTube is still a teenager. It's only 18 years old,
Wow.
right? And it's continually to evolve, continually evolving. I actually am formulating this thought right now, and it's this whole idea. I actually had a conversation with another agent in our office here about I don't know, an hour or so ago, and we were talking about blogging
Mhm.
and whether blogging is dead. And so I did a Google search, and the first thing that pops up is AI. So it will give you all of the answers, right? Google's AI will give you a bunch of answers that you're looking for. Plus, it will provide links to the articles that it sourced, right? So that's an interesting topic that we probably won't get into today, but something that again I'm thinking about kind of at a high level.
So do you
And then as
your
you
thought
continue
is
to
that
scroll down, what's
yeah.
that?
So your thoughts that you're going to start blocking again?
No, no, no. I'll get to the point here in just a sec. So as you continue to scroll down, you see, so it goes from the AI to sponsored ads to video to blogs, right?
Uh,
To video to Reddit, like opinion boards,
yeah.
then to the blogs. It's like now you're on basically onto the second page.
Oh well.
And so I'm like, okay, so is blogging truly dead? I don't know if blogging is truly dead. What I do know is that blogging by way of this style of content, video style content, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all of these platforms that allow for short form, long form, video based content, that is the future of blogging. And
There
this
you
is
go.
why I love this conversation around YouTube, is because there's a lot of agents that haven't really adopted this platform into their marketing. And so it's one of those things that I think it's a must have. I really do.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I've been trying to do it off and on for years. I'm more off than on, to be clear, but it's the second largest platform, right? Search platform other than Google. So I mean, you need
And
it.
Google owns the platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Google owns the platform. So, no wonder it's pushing that kind of content up to the
Yeah,
top of the search results,
yeah.
right? So, I mean, I read a stat here the other day. It was something along the lines of how much video is actually produced and then consumed on the YouTube platform. And we're talking hundreds of millions of hours per month that people are consuming. It's truly insane. And so if you look at it from a, Wilmington, North Carolina perspective, like how big is your city or town?
115,000.
115,000. And are there any agents right now in your market area that have adopted YouTube into their marketing platform? Okay.
A lot of.
Are there any that are doing it really well at a high level? No. So opportunity, right? Yeah. So you've got a really fantastic background. You've got, we've got the sold thing, you got the pink lighting, you've got, obviously you have some good camera set up, your camera's nice and clear. You've got the good lighting set up. You probably have a good mic. I mean, that right there, that's step number one, is getting kind of that studio effect put together. Now you can utilize certain AI softwares to help with that, right? But if you've got the money and you got the wherewithal to actually put the studio together, I would suggest actually doing something similar to what you've done. Mm-hmm. So that's the first step towards it. Now I'll preface this by saying I started on the platform in 2010. I've been creating content fairly consistently for 14 years. I moved from Calgary, Alberta, Canada to Kelowna, British Columbia. So I went from a city of 1.6 million people down to a city of 160,000. Okay. So I went from like a ton of competition on that platform. Like there's people in Calgary that like Brad McCallum. If you Google these names, you'll find them online on the platform. Brad McCallum, Jared Chamberlain. There's Nolan Mathias. There's all kinds of creators that have come out of Calgary. And Calgary really, as far as content creation, I think is one of those epicenters across North America where you're seeing a lot of amazing creators come out of that city, out of that market, and are doing some really awesome stuff with the platform and really building their brand and being able to put their messaging out into that ether. That being said, when I moved to this part of the country, I mean, again, like you, hardly any competition whatsoever. Yeah. And people weren't doing it at a high level. And so I started to really look at the market as a whole and thought to myself, well, I'm new in this marketplace. I've never sold in British Columbia before. I grew up here. I grew up in this province. Yeah. But I never sold here before. So how do I go and get clients? Well, let's go back to what I know. Let's go back to the basics and the fundamentals. I had to actually relearn YouTube. I had to relearn the whole thing. So one of the first things that I did was I hired a consultant to come in and give me a hand. So I had launched the channel. I'd gotten it up to about 200 subscribers. And then after I hired the consultant to come in and help me rework some things and actually put a framework in place to start to be able to create the content that I knew was going to get eyeballs and get visits and get clicks and ultimately get, Calendly appointments and phone calls and that sort of thing. My channel went from 200 to 750 subscribers in about, less than a year.
Oh, wow.
So now the problem with it, I could be well over 1,000. I could be, upwards of 2,000-3,000 subscribers if I stuck with it and I was consistent, but I kind of shifted and I moved away from really selling at a higher level. I'm moving more towards the coaching side. And so what I'm going to do with my original channel is basically the same thing that I did with my real estate channel. Right. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break it down into 5 buckets. And that's the second step here. So get your studio right. Get a good mic. That's important. Good mic is important. Good sound is important. Lighting is important, right? The editing and stuff, that'll all come later. But make sure that you've got your studio set up. The second step is to really do the research and figure out what it is that your clientele are looking for on this platform. So you've got to utilize YouTube as your research engine. Yeah.
So then okay, so 5 buckets. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. I'm trying to engage, but I don't want to interrupt. Yeah. So I apologize.
It's okay.
So my question is is there something to be said, like how many times you need to do videos, how many times a week, how many times a day, how long they are?
Yeah. So let's break it down. So your 5 buckets are going to be kind of the overarching, content ideas and how you're going to formulate the ideas. So a 5 bucket scenario might be something like, I'm going to do listicles as an example. So like the 5 best neighborhoods to live in Wilmington, North Carolina, right? The top 3 ways to sell your house in a buyer's market.
Yeah.
The top 7 reasons to move away from Wilmington, North Carolina. Like those are listicle type. Anything with like a number in it, that's a listicle type video. Okay. So you're going to do some research on Wilmington. You're going to find out that other creators in your community or outside of your community, people that are doing things that you actually want to do, you're going to look to their channels as well. And you're going to look to see whether those listicle type videos that they're creating actually work for their market. And the metric that you're going to use is just the number of views, right? Okay. So the number of views per, the ratio is, if you've got a very large channel, so you've got like, let's say 10,000 subscribers, but their videos that they're doing are only seeing 100 views per video, not really great engagement, and probably not a channel that I would be following to try to get ideas from. Now, if the flip side was true, like I had 1,000 subscribers, but I was getting 10,000 views per video, that's a different story.
Something you want to pay attention to.
Yeah, 100%. So those are the types of videos that or channels I'm going to be looking towards. I'm going to look to see the types of things that they're doing, pros and cons, right? The reasons, like, why should I move here? Why should I leave here? Like coming at it from a contrarian point of view as well, like using like those clickbait style titles that everybody always complains about. Right? Pros and cons. So what you need to do is figure out those main 5 buckets, those overarching ideas, and then you're going to take those overarching ideas and you're going to come up with content video ideas. And then you're just going to start shooting the content. Okay, so that's step 2. Step 3 is we get into actually shooting the content. And this is where AI becomes really important. At least it does for me. I use ChatGPT every single day.
I use Jasper, but similar.
Jasper, yeah. So it doesn't matter. Pick your poison. Doesn't matter. What I will say is be polite, because they could be our overlords at some point in the future.
Yeah, really.
and I don't think AI is going to forget.
Yeah,
right? They're going to remember if you said please and thank you. I don't know about you, but I gave my AI a name.
That's funny.
Yeah, his name is Carl.
Carl.
Yeah, Carl. Do you ever watch Fear the Walking Dead?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so Rick and Carl, right? There's that meme. Like Rick would always call Carl Coral. He had that like real Southern coral. Yeah. So that's why. And there's that meme. It's that meme with Rick. He'd tell him a joke, and anyways, it's funny. That's the reason why I named him Carl. Anyway, so Carl helps me write the content. And so I have an app called Teleprompter that I use. I shoot all of my content off of my phone. I've got, I've got a rig set up in here. I've got, a tripod mounted to my desk. I've got lighting here. I've got a little bit of a background as well. And then all I do is I set my phone up in the landscape, and I turn on my Teleprompter app after I import the script into the Teleprompter app, and I just basically read the script.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you find out, you come up with your listicles, and then you put it in Carl to tell you what the content is going to be for those 5 neighborhoods or whatever.
Yeah. So what I do is let's take a video. Let's take market update video. Okay. So we're going to talk about the market. Maybe we're going to do that once a month, or, a couple times a month, or whatever it is. So I'm going to type into ChatGPT something along the lines of, I'm looking to write a script for YouTube. I need you to act as the world's greatest copywriter and analyze the Wilmington, North Carolina real estate market, and write a script for me that could be potentially in terms of length, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes in length. And so it's going to spit out this big, long script. It's probably going to give direction, like narration here, direction here, input this here. You can actually ask the AI to forego all of that just by saying, don't provide any direction or narration or anything like that. Just give me the script. The other way that you can avoid that is ask the AI to write you an article. So if you ask it to write you an article, then you're just reading the article. So then what I do is I take that information, I measure it against the actual stats and data and where the market is actually headed. I make a few edits if I need to, and then I just take that script and I put it into my Teleprompter app. And I basically read the script.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So those are the basic steps. Now, the other thing is you got to add some flavor to it. You know, you got to move around a little bit, you know,
make it entertaining.
Yeah. It's got to be passionate, you know, there's got to be flexion, you know, there's got to be rises and falls in your voice. You've got to, you know what I mean? You can't just sit there like a robot and just, you know, talk this thing through. Yeah, exactly. Just read it. I mean, you're not gonna get any visitors to the channel, right? Because it's got to be engaging. It's got to be entertaining. You know, so that's really the next step after that comes by way of packaging. And what I mean by that, so there's 3 steps to packaging. The first step is your thumbnail. Okay. We are visual animals. We see everything. And the thing that draws us in is not written text. It's visuals. It's pictures. It's, you know, whatever. That thumbnail should be designed to actually draw the viewer in. So then what happens after that? So if the visual draws them in and keeps them there long enough, their eyes will eventually go down to the title of the video. Okay. That's the second part of the packaging. So the title has to match up with what it is that they're seeing on the visual. Okay. Okay. And then the third part of the packaging obviously is the content. That's the video that you've made. So what you want to do is the thumbnail, the kind of the rule of thumb for the thumbnail, there's a couple of things. I use AI to create the background image for my thumbnail. So if you were to go over to YouTube and have a look at Live Love Kelowna, or have a look for that channel, you'll see that all of my thumbnails going back the last probably 25 videos, every single one of them, the background image was all created by AI. Oh, wow. So I have the AI create the background image, and then I take myself and I put myself onto that. And I'm doing everything in Canva, by the way. Okay. Wow. I'm putting myself on there as well. And then you'll see going back over the course of those last 25 videos or so, I only have a maximum of 3 words on each thumbnail. Sometimes I only have 1. You do not want to, this is something that you don't want to do. When it comes to YouTube and you're creating thumbnails, you do not want to put the title of the video on the thumbnail. Oh. Okay. The reason being is because you've just told, this is marketing, right? You're giving them too much information. Right. What do you do when you're marketing a home for sale? Yeah. Right. Like when you send it on email, I certainly hope that you or your viewers don't do this, but when you send out an email, I certainly hope that you don't put the price in the email. Like if you're pre-marketing a listing, like what you want to do is generate phone calls. I don't even address it, right? This is the basics. I got a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, rancher with, 1,700 square feet with a fully finished walkout basement coming for sale. If you're interested or you want more information, let me know. Yeah. Right. That's marketing. It's intrigue. That's what you're creating, right? This is what we're trying to create with the marketing of the video on this platform, is a certain level of intrigue. And so if you put the actual title of the video, there's no intrigue left. Oh, that's smart. Viewers will come by your channel and they go, oh, that topic doesn't resonate with me, doesn't hit. I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to click on it. I won't even bother. So give me an example of a 1-word or a 3-word thumbnail that you would use. So well, I'll just I put you on the spot. I apologize. No, it's okay. I'll just open up my channel real quick and I'll give you a couple of examples. So as I'm doing that, what I will say as far as the text is concerned, you want to make sure that, again, there's only 3 words. Okay. But the coloring of the words also matters. So the last thing that you want to have is, all of the words completely different colors. Yeah. Okay. You want to have them either all white or all yellow or all red. Wow. Yeah. Very specific. Very specific. And this isn't me saying, I mean, obviously I'm saying it, but I didn't come up with this. Yeah. This is like, this comes from top, like Mr. Beast, Daryl Eves, the guy that wrote the book on YouTube marketing and strategy, right? This is the guy that I listen to. This is the mastermind that I'm involved in. that I join in every single week. The guy that runs that mastermind, he's in a mastermind with Daryl Eves. He pays $50,000 to be in that room 4 times a year.
Wow.
So I benefit from what he gets from Daryl Eves, right? So I'll give you a couple examples. I had a video that had 2,146 views on it. The thumbnail, the background was like a decrepit looking house. And then I stood there with my arms crossed, kind of like with a, not a menacing look, but a, kind of a concerned look on my face. And then the words said, "Not selling."
Ooh.
Okay. And then the title of the video was "Kelowna houses are taking way longer to sell."
I like it. Okay.
So that video had 2,146 views on it.
Wow.
My most trafficked video had 12,023 views on it. And this was done about a year ago in 2023. The word on the thumbnail was foreclosure.
Oh.
And then I had an arrow pointing upwards. Okay. And then the title framework was Kelowna foreclosures up 363%. Market crash imminent. Now, I took that title framework from somebody else that had done the same thing in a completely different market, like almost verbatim, with the exception of the last 3 words, market crash imminent. I added that in there. He didn't have that in there.
Okay.
His was Toronto foreclosures up by 181%.
Wow.
Okay. He had hundreds of thousands of views on that video because he has a massive channel.
Wow.
My video got like a ridiculous amount of views. I remember watching it, like within the first, 30, 40 minutes, I had a couple hundred views on this video. I'm like, holy smokes. I'm showing my wife. I'm like, this is popping off. This is going crazy. I woke up the next morning and I had like 3,000 views on the video overnight.
And you're not boosting. Are you boosting those videos?
No, it was all organic.
Wow.
All organic. Now, here's the kicker. Okay. So this is where the whole idea of the clickbait, this is where people might get, oh, this is like black hat type stuff.
Yeah.
It's not. Because here's the thing. Do you know the amount of foreclosures, like 363% increase? Do you know how many more that was in our market over the course of a year?
It
was like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that 8 equated to a 363% increase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So if I were to put on the title of the video for Kelowna foreclosures up by 8, like, do you think people will click on that?
Yeah.
No, they're not going to click on that. But they're like, oh, foreclosure. It's ominous. It's menacing. The background is AI generated. And it looks like a, very dark and stormy day. And then he's got this red arrow that's pointing up, and then foreclosure in bright yellow. And then the title says, foreclosures up 363. Well, I got to watch this video.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And so boom, people watched it.
Wow.
Right. So that's basically, it's 4 steps. So, your lighting, your where you create your content absolutely matters.
Yeah.
It absolutely matters. I was shooting content outside because I was like, well, I live in this beautiful area. I want to showcase I want to have some amazing panoramic backgrounds. And the consultant, Nolan Matthias, he jumps in there and he's like, we start talking. He's like, dude, it's not working for your channel. Like, people don't care. They don't care. Shoot everything that you're doing like from your home office. And so I started doing that. And the very first meeting that I had with a client, it was during COVID. So it was like 2021, right? So like COVID was kind of over, I guess. Like, I don't know, like the height of it wasn't as crazy as it was a year previous. And so I was still meeting people on Zoom. And that we had our first meeting, our first in-person meeting was over Zoom. And I'm on the call with them and they're like, "Oh my God, honey, that's the office. Like, see the background? That's from the videos, right? Oh, this is so great." I'm like, "Guys, what are you doing?" I'm a regular dude. Like, it was a celebrity effect, right?
Yeah. So, but your neighborhood videos, you're not actually taking a video of the neighborhood?
No.
Okay. Wow.
I was. So that comes down to, like, back to your buckets, right? Okay. So if your buckets suggests that listicles are the way to go, then list off a bunch of things. Like if you want to focus on a community, it's like the top 5 reasons to move to Upper Mission, right? The top 10 reasons why you should live in Lower Mission.
I get it. Okay.
Right. And then if you want to showcase the neighborhood, then get out in the neighborhood, take your camera, buy a gimbal, and showcase different parts of the neighborhood and use that in your video as B-roll.
Oh, okay. I like it.
So that's the 5th step to this, is actually the editing part. Now, the longer form content is if you do not have the chops to edit, you need to find somebody to go do that for you.
Yeah.
And so a really great a great website that I found was Upwork.com.
I've used them in the past.
You have. There you go. Some people will say, oh yeah. What's that?
Kind of like Fiverr.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, yeah, people are like, oh yeah, well, it's kind of like Fiverr, right? My response is actually yes and no. Yes, because you can get, the VA type work on both platforms, but no, because the work that you get off of Upwork, in my opinion, and I've used Upwork quite a bit, is so far superior to what you would get on Fiverr.
Okay. Right.
So what I did on Upwork, how I found my video editor, is I put up an ad. This big mistake. I did this on a Sunday night. Okay. I woke up to like 30 applications on Monday morning.
That's overwhelming.
Yeah, totally. So I shut the ad down and then I started going through all the applications. Well, I found 4 people that were like, oh, okay, well, these guys, I think these guys would match with what I'm trying to do. Like their portfolios, which would like match up with me quite well. So I reached out to the 4 of them and I said, okay, I've got a video. It's only 4 minutes long. I'm not looking for you to edit the entire video. I'm not looking to rip you guys off and, have you do work for free. What I'm trying to do is, get you guys to audition for me and show me your skills based on the content that I've already produced. And so just take 2 minutes of the video, edit it, and then send it over to me. You've got 48 hours.
Ooh, that's smart.
So one guy got back to me. He's like, sorry, I don't do that. And I was like, hey man, that's totally cool. I appreciate that. You're $80 an hour anyways. You probably weren't getting hired anyhow. So totally fine. Right. So then the other 3 guys, it was 48-hour turnaround time. They were so similar in what they did.
Wow.
Like the quality of the video was so similar. I had already shot in a bunch of content. I just said shotten. Oh man. I got to slow it down. Stop talking so fast. I'd already shot a bunch of content. Shotten. That's a good one. I'll put that one in the bank. But anyway, so I'd already shot a bunch of content, and I had 3 videos. So I sent the 3 videos out to these guys. I said, okay, you've each got 48 hours. Get the videos done. I'm not going to tell you the style. I'm not going to tell you anything. I expect that you're going to do the homework and do what you need to do. So each of them got a video back to me. They were all, again, very similar. The one guy that I wound up hiring, he actually dug into my videos. He dug into my channel and found some of the stuff that I was doing, and he basically made it better. Right. And so he actually wound up getting the job. And so the great thing was he was attentive to what I was looking for. So that was number 1. Number 2, his turnaround time was better than the other guys. And number 3, he was also the least expensive.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's like $15 an hour. Wow. Okay. And he can do a video that would take me probably 4 or 5 hours, and I've got the chops to do it.
Yeah.
Right. A long piece of content that's 8 or 10 minutes long. He's, it would take me 4 or 5 hours. He's doing it in a couple of hours. So it's costing me like, $30, $35, $40 per video.
Wow. That's all.
Right. The short form content for Instagram and TikTok. I mean, I just send them batch recordings. I'm like, here's like 8 videos. I can do these. I can edit these videos literally in like 37 minutes.
Wow.
Because I've timed myself doing it. So I know exactly how long it's going to take. So if I send you 10 videos and you doing what you do and you're way better than me at this stuff, like you should be able to do this in like 30, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's the editing absolutely matters as well. So that batching, the packaging, it's one of the most overlooked things when agents start getting involved with YouTube, because they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
The first thing you need, like anything in business, the first thing you need is what? A strategy.
That's right.
right? We need to have a strategy. So that's where the 5 buckets comes in.
Okay.
And if you can create 25 videos and upload 25 videos over the course of, the next 5 months, that's only 5 videos a month. That's only 1 video a week.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Now, I wouldn't suggest that. Now, this is the last tip that I'll give around this. So if you want to grow the channel quickly, if you want it to take off quickly, it's more content.
Okay.
Okay. 2 to 3 times a week is what is suggested. Okay.
Wow.
So you're 2 to 3 times per week, and you're doing that for like 3 to 4 months, if not longer, until you start to get some massive traction, or at least until you get to that 25 video mark.
Okay.
That's uploaded on the channel. The reason I say 25 is because there's the guys that I talk to, that I listen to, that that I'm in masterminds with, they all say the same thing. It's like that 25 video mark. That's where they see channels really start to kick off. And that's where they start to see a lot of the content that they've been creating starts to gain traction.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think it matters to use tags in the no? And what about the description of the video? Is when you do your video and you're reading it from the teleprompter, are you taking that transcription and putting it into YouTube to create?
I used to do that.
Okay.
I used to do that because you can upload I think about 5,000 words, right? 5,000 characters. And I used to do that. But then, again, working with a consultant, he's like, dude, nobody reads the description anyways. And a lot of people think, a lot of people think, oh, it's really good for SEO. Doesn't have any bearing on it whatsoever.
That's what I need to know.
So what you want to have in there, the number one thing as far as the description is concerned, is a way for people to get in touch with you. And as part of the video, you have to reference that.
Okay.
Right? You have to tell
them for my information. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, if this video hits with you, if it resonates with you, I've got my Calendly link down below. Go ahead and click that and book in to have a chat with me, at your convenience.
Ooh, that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah. So you put your Calendly link as the first line of the description of the YouTube description. And then after that, then you're going to have a little bit of a write-up, a quick synopsis. And then you're going to have some calls to action, some CTAs that you're going to put in there. It's like, maybe you've got a Wilmington home buyer's guide. Maybe you got a Wilmington home seller's guide, right? So they're going to going to click on a shortened link, which is going to take them over to your website, which is going to be like a download, and you're going to collect their information. So it's a lead generation tool now.
That's right. Smart. I am totally not doing it anywhere near the right way.
Yeah. So the description, just to recap, you want to have a Calendly link at the top. So a way I use Calendly. I don't really know of any other online booking calendars out there. I know they're so just pick whatever one you're using, put that in there, use that, have that as the first link. So that's the first thing. Second thing, quick synopsis of what the video is kind of about. And again, you can have ChatGPT write this up for you, right? You can take the script. Once the script is written, then you can say, okay, great. Now I need you to quickly summarize this script for a YouTube description. Do not give the plot away of the actual video.
Oh, that's smart.
So then it'll give you the quick description. The second to last part is to have your CTAs. And then the last part is to put chapters in.
And that's why I don't have any idea how to do that.
Okay. So the chapters is really easy. So let's say at the 1 minute mark, you're talking about the state of the real estate market in Wilmington. Mm-hmm. Like that's where it starts, and it ends at the 3 minute mark. So you in the description, you would put 1:00, and then a space, and then a dash, and another space, and then 3:00, and then you would title that Wilmington Market Update. Okay. So then people would be able to click on that timing, and it would take them to where you started talking about the market update.
I think that's pretty brilliant. I've seen the chapters. I've just never been able to figure out how to create it. So you just find the time, and then you put the time and colon and.
It's that easy. Because the platform recognizes it. Now you can have like
the description. Where do you do that? I'm sorry.
Just down below. I would put it down below your CTAs.
Okay.
Right below that. Now there are tools that will do that for you. Like there's TubeBuddy. That's one. vidIQ is another. So these are paid tools that you would have, as part of your YouTube channel. And so you could pay for those tools. And, I like TubeBuddy. I like ViewStats. I like vidIQ. All of these kind of have their purposes. vidIQ has got an AI component built into it. It can help you with writing descriptions, figuring out titles that will work. In my opinion, I think if you're going to get, and it doesn't matter whether you're looking at becoming really good at something, like whether it's YouTube or riding a bike or, welding a piece of steel, it doesn't matter. You're going to put in the time to learn how to do the thing and become an expert at doing the thing in order to be able to do it and do it well. One of the things, if you want to get really good with YouTube, is you need to research. You need to do as much research as you possibly can to figure out the type of content that's actually hitting, which means, the type of content that people in your market area are actually watching.
Yeah, that's smart.
And consuming. Right.
Yeah. And I'm going to go back and watch this video like 25 more times and type up my notes. And then I'll have a good direction, at least a place to starting ground. That's awesome. What about live videos? What are your thoughts on those?
Lives?
So this channel, it goes to YouTube Live. So I have a bunch of them, but I'm not getting traction on them.
Yeah. So I think there's a way to do it. And I think the way that you would want to do it would be kind of like a sitcom, right? Like, you remember sitcoms like Seinfeld would come on once a week, Friends, right? You can tell the era that I'm from. Yeah. So we sit down, I think we're probably from the same era, right? So you sit down once a week and you watch your favorite TV show, right? It would be the same sort of thing with the live, right? It would be like, okay, we're going to figure out a topic. What is it that we're going to talk about? What's really resonating with our audience? And then we're going to go live with it. And it's like every Friday or every Thursday at this time, kind of like what you're doing with these calls, right?
Yeah, right.
Every Monday at 5 p.m., you're going live on your Facebook. You could be doing the exact same thing on your YouTube, but more focused towards the market.
Okay, perfect. That's what I did. Oh, gosh, Kelly, this has been so informative. So how many people, so Kelly is a coach, right? He is an agent with RE/MAX. He's in Canada. Did you say Canada? Still Canada?
I did. Yeah. I'm in Canada.
Yeah. And he's a real estate coach. So how many agents are you coach? And I know you're a real estate coach. Do you do team leaders? Do you do individuals? Everybody?
Yeah. So I focus on agents, brokers, managers, recruiters, anybody that is within the real estate vertical that is looking for coaching. That's my target market. I do not discriminate. I don't care if you're tall, short, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Like I'll take on all of my daughter's really short, so I don't discriminate against short people at all. Totally kidding. But yeah, no, that's I don't typically coach outside of the real estate industry.
Okay. And you do more than just RE/MAX agents, I'm assuming, everybody?
Yeah. I mean, I'm inside of the RE/MAX network. And if I have an agent that wants to reach out to me, that's, with a different brand, I mean, we coach inside of the network, but if I have somebody that reaches out to me, we can certainly have that conversation. I'm not going to discriminate. And if I can't help them, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like my responsibility is to try to put them in contact with somebody that would be able to help them out.
Yeah, that's smart. And how can people find you?
Well, that's a great question. And what I'd like to say, I'd love to be able to give your audience a bit of a gift. If that's okay with you.
I would. Gosh, that's nice. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So cool. So here's what I'd love for them to do. So you asked me where they can find me, where they can connect with me. Connect with me on Instagram. Okay. So this video is up on your Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram. So go over to Instagram and search for my name at Kelley Skar, KELLEY SKAR. Okay. So that's step one. You got to go over to Instagram, find me. Step two is you got to follow me. Okay. And then step three is you have to DM me. Okay. And if your people on your page want to connect and they want the gift, they can DM me Mayor, and I'll send them a link to a playbook that I've created for becoming the digital mayor of Instagram.
I love it. Okay. Does that for good for me too? I'll go find you right now and follow you.
100%. You can go over there, find me, follow me, DM me, Mayor, and I'll send you the link so that you get access to that playbook as well.
I would love that. Well, gosh, thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate your
pleasure.
Time. Absolutely.
Yeah, this has been great. Hopefully I didn't talk too much. I know it was like a little bit more one-sided, but
Oh, I loved it. It was very, very informative to me and everybody. I'm positive. So I'm thank you. I thank you for your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You have a great day.
You too.